My sellers ask me all the time, how do I get my house ready to sell? It's a great question, so let's find out. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan Schramm, broker and owner of Ryan Schramm Real Estate here in South Orange County. So you've decided to sell your home. Now where do you start? So in this current market, you might be thinking, shoot, my house is gonna sell itself. All I have to do is stick a sign in the yard, maybe put it on the MLS, and it's gonna sell itself. Now that might be true because the demand is so high for homes right now, but for how much can you sell your house for if you just stuck a sign in the ground? In this video, I'm gonna cover the 6 things that you can do to prepare your house and get it ready for the market so that when you do put it on the market, you might get 10 or 20% more than if the house just sold itself. Let's dive in. Number 1, maintenance and repairs. This is a super important thing. The reason being, when a buyer comes through your house, they're putting it under the microscope. If they see things that they're gonna have to fix before they move in, they're gonna start adding up the cost of those items, and it's always an overflated amount. So if we can get ahead of things and take care of the little deferred maintenance items, and trust me, all of our homes have a little bit of deferred maintenance, no big deal. We take care of those things before the home goes on the market, and this way, buyers aren't gonna overinflate the cost of those fix-it items. So before listing your home, go through, make sure that any nail holes that are in the walls that you might not be using are fixed. Clean out the gutters. Super simple, it comes up on every home inspection. Clean them out quickly. Change out any burnt light bulbs and take care of the little things so that your home is in its best light when those buyers come through. Number 2, decluttering and depersonalizing. I know it's sort of a sensitive subject because we all want to live in our homes the way that we want to live, but when somebody else is coming through the house, it pays major dividends to declutter. What I mean by that is remove extra knickknacks, take down personal photos. Why? Because they're distracting. Simply put, it's just a distraction. When a buyer comes through, we want them focused on the updates in the home. If it's a view home, we want them looking at the view. But I can guarantee you, every time I take a buyer through a house and there's a wall full of family photos or a collage, what are they doing? It's human nature. They're looking at that rather than looking at the home. So if we can declutter, depersonalize, buyers will be able to come in and see that home as it's in their light. It's gonna be their home. So that's how we want them to take a look at it. And that's why number 2 is so important. Number 3, maximize the natural light. Natural light is such an important thing for home buyers when they're coming through a home. If a home is dark, a buyer is going to feel like the house is smaller. So what are some simple tricks that you can do to maximize the natural light? Open the blinds, maybe minimize the blinds to sheers, which is super simple to do. If you have some dark painted accent walls, it would definitely make sense to neutralize those with some shade of white, whether it's a Swiss coffee or a bone white. I know it can be boring, but trust me, it's going to bring in more light because those white walls are gonna reflect the light rather than absorb it. So that's a really big thing to do. Make sure you go through and do those simple tricks to let that light pour in. And a bonus tip, a lot of times I see, especially in very sunny homes, you might have some valances that have shades or drop down blinds. Those valances can actually pull down the ceiling height. So it might make sense to remove them, go for a simple bar with shears, and that's gonna pour that light in. It's gonna make the home feel bigger, brighter, and it's gonna be uplifting when somebody comes and makes that first impression. Number 4, cosmetic updates. Now, I don't want to scare you with this one. I'm not telling you to go remodel your whole house, but there are some things, and I have a list of them, that will pay you. For every dollar you spend, you'll make $1.25 when you go to sell. For example, if you have some areas in the house of some mismatching flooring, maybe some old carpet where it butts up to some tile, it might make sense to just get an estimate to look at, hey, what would a cheap LVP, which is luxury vinyl plank, what would it cost for us to put that in this space and get one seamless flooring? Or it could be an old vanity that's a little broken down, it might need to be painted, or it might make sense to just go to Lowe's and pick up a cheap, inexpensive, clean vanity and plug that into the space. These are the small cosmetic fix-it items that I see that allow a seller to capture a greater price for their home. And you might be thinking, well, why would I do that? A buyer is just gonna come in and put what they want anyways. I hear that a lot, and it is true. They're gonna put what they want anyways, but they will offer more if they feel like they can move right into that house without having to do anything, because they can bring their pillow, their toothbrush, move in and start to chip away at things over time. But if we have some spots of worn carpet, broken down vanities, just 2 examples, they might be like, I can't move into this place, so I'm not gonna offer as much. And here's a couple smaller items for you to consider as well. Think about maybe changing out the plug receptacles and light switch receptacles so that they all match. Sometimes those can get yellowed, sometimes they're mismatching. If you go through the house, they cost 50 cents. It really makes things look cleaner. The other thing that's great to do too is update some light fixtures. I know down by the beach, sometimes those light fixtures might get rusted out. They could be dusty, light bulbs could be burnt out. A $50 light fixture goes a long ways. And the last little tip, if you look at doorknobs and faucets in the bathrooms, and some of them might be brushed nickel, some of them might be gold, a lot of times you might just go switch out that sink fixture so that it matches the door handles. Those little things, those preparatory items, go a long way. Number 5, curb appeal. This is a big one. You've got to remember, buyers are searching online. Your house is an open house 24/7 virtually, but what we want to be spectacular for them when they show up for that first time is the curb appeal. So what are some things you can do to maximize your curb appeal? Go through, get a photo for yourself, stand out in front of the home, and check out your home's curb appeal. Do you need to update some fresh mulch in the planters? Does it make sense to get some new greenery, some shrubs, plants, so that when we take those real estate photos, the home pops? It might also make sense to repair some fascia boards, any peeling paint. Going through and taking care of those first impression items will pay huge dividends when the home's listed on the market and people are doing those drive-bys. Now, here are some absolute musts. Whether you freshen up the home's landscaping or not, we definitely want to keep that lawn mowed. If there's any dark spots, we have some tricks on how you can zap it green really quick with watering and emulsification. And we also want to make sure that everything is super cleanly swept, hosed down the driveway. Definitely absolute must for the curb appeal. Number 6, interview agents early. Everything we're talking about right now are things that I go over with my potential clients before putting a house on the market. So the sooner you have me or whatever agent you're going to work with over, the sooner you can start to get prepared and build a little list so that when you do put the house on the market, you get the most money. Because at the end of the day, we want the highest net possible for the seller with the best terms and a stress-free process. And I'm telling you, a lot of the work happens before that house even goes on the market. Now, along those same lines, it's wise to interview 2 or 3 local agents so that you can get a feel for who you have the best chemistry with. There's a lot of good agents out there, but what I've seen firsthand is that person that you work well with, you have a good rapport and a good trust, go with your gut on that, because that's the person you're going to be working with closely for the next 30 to 60 days, and it will make all the difference in the world. Additionally, in those interviews, when you're talking to those agents, you want to talk about things like marketing. What's your marketing plan? I want to see your print marketing plan. I want to see your online marketing plan. And I want to know, is there anything that sets you apart from your competition? That is a phenomenal question if you're a seller to ask a realtor. The other thing I suggest, talk about communication. Ask the realtor, how do you like to communicate? How often are you available? Will I be working with you or will I be working with somebody on your team? It's very important to get that expectation set ahead of time so that you know and you can pick the best agent for the job. So why is this all so critical? Your home is quite possibly your largest asset. Who you choose to represent you matters in that decision so that they can take you across the finish line successfully. If you've been thinking about selling your home and you're not sure where to start, reach out to me. It's better to reach out sooner than later, and I love to chat, give you some tips and tricks. We don't have to get together right away, but at least start the process so that you can be prepared. All right, thanks so much for checking out this video. Be sure to check out this other playlist so you can stay up to speed on exactly what's happening in the South Orange County housing market. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to stay up to date when I drop a new video. Thanks so much and take care.